That
You're
makes
welcome.
more sense.
You're welcome.
All right.
So if
So,
everybody can please go in and mute yourselves, that way Angie can do her thing. And then once Lori asks you to unmute yourselves to answer questions, that's when you will unmute yourself to answer questions, please. That's the best way to do it.
okay. Sorry, I see people on here that. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back in and we'll see what comes through. We'll just see what if they repeat what they said. I have no idea what they were saying. So, maybe the message that we were just bringing through was strictly for Angie. And so, therefore, we will begin where we are now without judgment or the idea that there was anything wrong. And this is a lesson for all of you to understand that sometimes when the human life does not go as planned, it is often an opportunity for you to understand or experience something that may cause you discomfort or a ability to control something, which will then allow you to shift in your mindset and consciousness to bring more awareness to your divine self. The more aware you are of yourself, the more you are consciously taking a part in your life by tuning into the aspects of you and the essence of you and the energetics of you outside of the human experience. You are divinely guided at all points and in all steps that you take. As you release the control of trying to navigate the human experience by being the one to take the initiative without allowing the spirit to guide, you can become more aligned in what you are desiring here on earth and understanding that the things that you would like to see take place are already in the energetic field. It is simply you aligning with the frequency of that and using that frequency to create the belief and the reality in which you can reside in. At this time, humanity is shifting into the ability to have a conscious mind and the awareness of the dual experience of divine being and human physical being. As the consciousness merges with the human experience into the human body, the mind expands within the comprehension of who it is, which then projects into the energetic field around you, which then can help the collective awaken. It is much like a wave. Each of you are each a divine light that has been tossed into the water, and your ripple makes a difference in the energetic field as you allow yourself to remain in the steadiness of light and consciousness of your true divine self. And in these moments, when you use experiences in your daily life to reprogram your mind or to learn more about yourself, you will become more aware of the things that cause you to get out of alignment with that truth, which then can bring you back into the light and hold a frequency at a rate of speed in which we will say a higher frequency, so that you do not dip down into the experiences the 3D often offers to teach and guide you. The experiences that you have on earth are simply guiding systems. And so instead of looking at something as an obstacle in my life, or this has come up to hinder my life or hurt me in some way, take a perspective from the other part of you, look at this situation and think, what is it I am learning in the human physical elements at this time that I can integrate into my human experience and body and reside in a frequency that holds a knowing that this is too working out for me. When you see things from the perspective of a higher dimensional thinking, you understand that this is happening to teach me or to guide me or to help me with something. Then the obstacles or things you have come up in your life no longer are what keep you stuck in a pattern or a cycle that is not desired or wanted. It is a simple tool to help you navigate which direction to take the next step. We hope this makes sense to you, and we hope this helps you along your journey as you continue to merge into higher consciousness and expand your awareness of yourself and the world around you. We are here now to assist you with questions.
Mandy.
Hello. I have a question about autism and ADHD. Is that part of our evolution, or is it just a version of a human experience that you can choose to have?
This question has many different answers, as what you said as far as having as a desire is true. But part of that is also an aspect of the spiritual consciousness of these divine beings that choose to come into the physical experience, struggling a little bit more to integrate into the human body. Now, this can happen for many different reasons, and there's not a way to really cover all the reasons that it could happen other than a choice, a trauma, or just simply a aspect of the divine being in this human vessel that is struggling to be in it. So from the many ways to answer your question, the main thing that is taking place here on earth at this time is that the beings that are coming to have a physical experience in a human vessel or body that you may portray to have different ways of being, such as autism or Asperger's or other things that you see as maybe delays or things that humans diagnose as negative. These are actually gifts that are being integrated into the quantum field around these divine beings of light. Because they have such a high frequency or have a high tendency to tune into frequencies around them, they are constantly scanning the field of consciousness, and they are opening up the field of consciousness by interacting with it simply by being in the physical realm. And so these divine beings of light that do volunteer to be in a vessel, such as these children or people that come in that you are labeling with a disability or a name that can make sense of how they respond to the physical experience, is to give the quantum field energetics to work with, and they then move out and trigger things in the field that may not reside with the frequency they reside in. So the example could be a child would become stimulated in certain places or situations simply because it can feel the frequency and the energy of that place, which then can cause a triggering. And when the triggering happens, it actually shifts the energy around it, which then can reflect an energy back to those who are holding different frequencies to bring awareness to their energy. It is simply almost like a mirror where a child agrees to be the mirror for those around it, where it causes it to feel uncomfortable by the behaviors or patterns or actions. These divine beings that do agree to be in these types of bodies have the ability to read things beyond the energy field as well, and they have the ability to manifest things into the reality through a different way of using energy that can help enhance the frequency of earth. And so you will see more of these uh, light workers, we will say, coming to earth in bodies that may have a hard time holding the frequency, but the interactions that they are taking on are simply to provide a frequency and a mirror back to the other humans to trigger more light on the planet. It is not that there is anything negative about these children or humans that came to earth to assist with this. It is that they are the ones that have chosen to absorb and to transmute as much energy as they can, which causes a lot of struggles with the physical body. But to us, seeing their light, seeing their frequency and the divine guidance of their soul to merge into this physical experience are very highly regarded in the field of energy and consciousness, because the work they do is beyond the ability to speak or be perceived as important in the world, based on the standards that have been created through the ego. Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Gina?
Question. What practices create the greatest coherence between mind, body, and soul? Can you give some examples?
We encourage humans to take time to become aware of what they are thinking about. And when you become aware of what you are thinking about, you can shift into a new reality, as you can learn that the thoughts are actually being created by you. Many times humans think that their thoughts rule their energy or the ideas in which they project, and it is not necessarily so. There is a aspect of you that you can tap into through the higher conscious mind to observe and see the thoughts that you have as a human. So what we would encourage you to do in order to do that practice is to spend time practicing shifting your mindset into a different perspective. And this can be gradual. It does not have to be a large shift where you were looking from a high perspective. It could just be simply looking at something and allowing your awareness about that topic or the item or the thing you were looking at to shift slightly differently to a new perspective. Say you are looking at something as a negative, then look at it as a positive. Or if it is a positive, allow yourself to see something in what others may see as negative. The more you allow your consciousness to see all aspects of all things, the perspectives that can be radiated in the field of consciousness around you, this integrates into your ability to open up your consciousness for yourself and to radiate the energy around you to communicate more clearly, to reach more people. As you project a perspective into the quantum field that has dual understanding or the ability to see perspectives from all angles, this enhances the ability of your mind to grow in its what you call intelligence, that can open up more information to be downloaded and channeled through you. So, working with your crown chakra, allowing that to expand, working with your heart chakra, allowing that to expand, and then grounding these energies into the physical body are going to be how you can coordinate the frequencies moving and merging together in the field of you. It is simply remembering that you are everything all at once. It is remembering that you are a spirit having a human experience. And it is remembering that you are an eternal being, always expanding, always creating, always experiencing, and always moving through the field of consciousness, even though your physical body does not feel so. Does this help?
Yes, thank you very much.
Did you have another question, Gina?
I'll let the others go, and if we have time, then I'll come back.
Okay.
Thank
Beth?
Hello, I realize there are physics in the world, clairvoyants, etc., who seem to just possess these gifts. But is it true that every human has the ability to connect to the Akashic records or collective consciousness?
It is true. All humans are the divine. It is only in the human experience that you have questions of whether you have abilities or gifts. And actually, it is only the human language that creates the idea of having a gift. As when you return to your true essence, everything is always connected. There is no disconnect or disregarding or trying to be or have in the field of truth that you come from. And so, in order to help you understand this, let us take you on a journey of the beginning of you. If you came from divine source, which you call God, would you possess the same abilities as God if you were actually a direct frequency of this being? Is this true for you?
I must answer that I don't know. That's a pretty deep question.
We want to tell you that you are. It is so. It is so that you are a direct replica of source energy itself, of the divine God that you call it. You are it. And so the projection of you holds all things and all gifts within it. Then you project that part of yourself into the human experience. And it is here that you shut off your abilities. You disconnect from the idea that you have a truth within you that holds a gift according to the human experience. And so the labels and the ideas that were placed on humans about gifts has caused the humans to struggle with understanding exactly what a gift is. A gift is not something that you possess to rule over or to have status or to have a label or an idea of something that makes you special or worthy. It is your truth. It is who you are. And the more you remember who you are, the more you access the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is all of you are divinely gifted. And all of you have the abilities to move and work with spirit in all of the ways. However, due to the physical experience that you wanted to have, you purposely wanted to experience, what is it like to not be myself? What is it like to leave the non-physical being of who I am and experience a physical being in which I don't know who I am? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to access my truth or my gifts. That is the experience of being a human. And so you are gifted, you do have abilities. It is simply allowing yourself to uncover those by pulling away all the things that have been taught to you that are not your truth, and understanding and decoding and allowing the truth of you to begin to shift into the main reality that you are projecting into the world. So, your long answer is yes, you are all gifted as you are all source. We hope this helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Jennifer?
Hi. I have always had a strong connection with Lake Michigan. Can you tell me anything about this place or my connection with it?
We will look into the energy of this. You decided to reside by this body of water as it activates you, and it gives you the ability to transmute energy and light throughout this area. It is a body of water that holds a frequency within it that will be used to ascend into new earth. And this body of water has played a part in many lifetimes. However, according to the earth and how long this body of water has been here, it has not been there as long as most humans perceive it. Many of the humans on earth think in times that they can understand, but the earth has shifted many different times, and this lake of water was created through one of those shifts that took place on the earth. And so there are some ancient underground things within this lake. There is some energies residing within it from other dimensions. There is portals and channels that allow light to come in and out of the earth. And you divinely decided to project yourself into the physical reality in this atmosphere, because it would help you remember who you are. And so the connection that you feel when you get around this body of water is a remembrance, and it helps you to open up your field of consciousness to reconnect with that part of yourself that is still connected to the truth and light of where you come from. Does this make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mandy?
Yeah, I have a question about Middle Earth. Are there cities with beings there, and is there any way to communicate with them?
There are cities in the middle of your earth. There is a consciousness that resides throughout many layers of the earth. And it is not necessarily the timing to interact with some of these beings, as we will say there was an agreement made to shift some of these beings out of the earth at certain times to assist with the ascension. And over time, it will be opening up. However, we will say that some of the energetics of these beings that reside in the earth are here to hold the consciousness of earth together. It works with the field of the earth, and it is divinely orchestrated to hold all things together. You may think of earth as a solid vessel that has nothing within it. However, we want to give you a different perspective, that as you are not fully all physical, that inside of your body you have uh, organs and intestines and a heart and flesh and room and blood. The earth also is a conscious being and has many of those things within her, just not in the same way a physical human body would have. And in that, you might call these beings that reside in earth much like cells, or the parts of the body that keep it moving with enzymes and other things. And so the beings within the earth sometimes do help with keeping a balance with her to reside at certain frequencies. And it is helping the earth ascend at this time. The beings of light that you are more likely going to have contact with are closer to the surface, and those who have not fully merged into the realm of the earth at this time. There is more information we can share with you, but at this time, there is not the ability to speak of these things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gina?
So living this human experience, we find ourselves getting or coming in and out of alignment with our higher selves, and sometimes falling back into old beliefs or behaviors or habits, living more from like the ego perspective rather than from our higher self perspective. So what are some of the quickest ways or things that we can do to get back in alignment and to shift us out of that ego perspective?
We want to first bring your awareness to the fact that you are asking this question, and that gives us the idea that you are already aware of that, which you are already shifting yourself back into alignment. But we also want to encourage you that you did decide to have this physical experience. And so in the moments that you feel like you are not in alignment, you really are in alignment, as you cannot necessarily fully move out of that unless there is a conscious choice to do so. Many humans will not move far enough away from their true self that they will continue to have an emotional navigation center that will bring them back to their truth. It is just simply listening to those things that were provided to you through emotions, feelings, and body sensations that get you back into alignment with who you are. When you are not being authentic to yourself, when you are doing something or speaking something or acting in a certain way that causes discomfort in your physical body or in your emotions, or something that many humans struggle with thinking over and over and over about how you could have done something different, or if something could have been a different outcome. These things often keep you in the loops of moving away from that truth. When you allow yourself to relax and to trust the navigation center and notice the signals and signs that come up for you, and just simply shift the awareness into the ease and flow, or the ideas that bring you joy, hope, and love, then that brings you back into the alignment. But we encourage you, as we know humans often do, to not shame yourself or to hinder yourself through the negative vibrations and thoughts that you can bring into your experience, because that will keep you from being able to move back into alignment with your truth. But the experience of being a human is meant to allow you to learn the difference, between moving towards something that does not feel aligned and moving towards something that does feel aligned. You are constantly being shown the path through those emotions and feelings. And it is simply a beautiful experience altogether at all times. And there is never a way that you will suddenly screw things so much up that you will not reside back where you came from. There is no possibilities for that to happen, as everything is source and everything is consciously connected. And even in the free will choices you have as a divine being, there is always a way back to yourself, as you are the creator of your reality and you cannot leave yourself. We hope this helps.
Thank you.
Bronwyn.
Thank you. This is not a completely formed thought, but I have a question about the notion of releasing judgment, which I think is a higher self, divine, spiritually aligned stance to not have judgment with, I guess, what is human ego kind of experience of criticism or accountability for actions or choices, like how to discern the difference between those, especially as it seems like so much is being revealed about people's choices that harm others, and what to do or how to approach that. If I find it challenging to just say it is the way it's supposed to be. And just wondering if you have insider thoughts you could share about how to kind of go back and forth between letting things be the way they are and feeling like there need to be consequences or accountability or learning from behavior, if that makes sense.
We love this question, as it gives us the ability to show you different perspectives of your reality. Now, we want you to understand that when we speak of these things, our perspective comes from a dimension in which is not residing with you in that frequency. So we can come with compassion and understanding that the experience that you are currently in on earth can feel very heavy and dense, and it can be very hard to comprehend why this would be something that is helpful or good. And so we want to first acknowledge that as you are a human, we do not ever expect you to not have human emotions or the ideas that come into your mind that something needs to be different. That is actually the positive part of this experience, is that you know what feels like love and what does not feel like love. The things that cause you to fear or judge or to have an idea that something is bad actually pushes you further into love. And that is the positive in which it gives. Now, from our understanding, we can see this in the energy field, as we don't necessarily always look at humanity as actual humans, but as the spirits that went to earth to volunteer to provide opportunity for the physical experience. And this is a difficult thing at this time for humanity to fully comprehend, but over time, you will increase in your understanding of this as you become less judgmental towards yourself as well. As sometimes when you have these thoughts or you think these things about other individuals or circumstances, you are actually causing judgment on yourself in many ways, because you are then looking at yourself thinking, I should not judge or I should not think this, which is actually projecting and building more of the frequency you do not want. However, we know this is a normal reaction for the human and is actually, as we were just speaking, part of the navigation system that we as divine beings agreed to have as a human. So in these moments, we first encourage you to remember that everything really is created in love. Even the darkest things that you see on planet Earth, there can not ever be separation from love. Love is a frequency that resides throughout all things and all beings. However, that love frequency can radiate at different speeds and energies that cause the being to forget that it is love and act out of it. But the truth of this being acting out of the lowest vibration of love that there could be projected into the reality that you're in, that lowest frequency of love pushes the power of the higher frequencies of love into the higher dimensions. And this has been taking place on earth for many years. And you are just now becoming more aware of these things that are being used to project more light and love into your world and consciousness. This is a very hard thing to understand as a human, because you do see the reality of the things around you and how it's being projected. And we want you to know that we are not here to tell you to do different. We are here, though, to tell you what to do if you would like to shift the consciousness into a different frequency. As you are free will beings, you have the choice of which way you want to project your energy. Over time, what will take place as one part of this energy on earth continues to project itself into very low frequencies of love, and the other part projects itself into a higher frequency of love, you will begin to see a split. You will begin to see things shifting where some of the beings that hold the low vibration will no longer interact with those who hold the higher vibration. We also hesitate in many ways to share these things with you because they are hard to grasp, but we will share that many of the beings that you have seen on earth, or the humans, we will say, as we will attempt to shift our perspective a little bit lower to help you understand what we are speaking about. The humans that you have seen portrayed, or that not in your reality, this is true, that there are humans being harmed. It is the choice in many ways for these humans to be used in this way, as you may have called beings such as Jesus sacrificial lambs, you may say. They came to play a part in this to help project love. And each time you see something, you desire better. You desire for things to change. To change, you have to change yourself first. So each time you see something and you notice something that causes you pain, causes you fear, causes you and your human vessel to suffer, shift the perspective into this is pushing out more love. And the more love that is pushed out, the less the lower vibrations can do what they're doing now. This is not a physical battle you are in. This is an energetic battle. And the battle is not necessarily a fight in the perspective of human understanding. It is a shift to allow there to be a balance between the energetics that have resided on earth through the consciousness of the masculine and feminine. You will see more feminine energy rising. You will see the masculine balancing out and not necessarily lowering, but the frequency of the divine feminine will rise into a point where it will balance out the masculine. It will not rule over it, as feminine energy is less likely to control or manipulate or force as a masculine energy, but it is divinely powerful, and in that it will appear to be more in a leadership position as earth ascends and shifts. So we understand this is not necessarily easy to hear when you were trying to figure out your human perspective, but from our energetic perspective, we see a balancing happening. And as hard as it is to look at this and think this is all coming together because it's meant to, we encourage you to stay in love. Just know that this is not something that is just suddenly happening on earth. You all made an agreement around maybe 2000 of your years ago to begin to shift the earth into a new consciousness, and you projected this energy towards this, and you agreed that at one point we will expose, or we will allow all of the things that have hindered us to rise in love to begin to come to the surface, to push us more towards love. As unity in the conscious mind of humans often needs something in contrast to push it towards light, or it will remain where it is without the need to change or grow. It is through the experience of pain that humans agreed to have growth. Now, as you ascend, as you move into higher frequency, that will no longer be the agreement. The agreement will be mutual support, kindness, and being able to project love towards each other without harm. We hope this helps.
Thank you.
I don't believe we have any more questions at this time.
We are grateful to have this experience with you at this time, and we look forward to seeing all of you continuing to integrate the understanding of your truth as you walk forward in the light. We remind you that you are love. You hold love within you. You are radiating love at all times, and to reflect it back to yourself as well. We love you, and we are here for you, and we will be with you soon. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Anybody need anything? Sorry, I'm a little loopy when I get done doing this. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Lori.
All right. Hi, YouTube. I don't know if anybody is watching currently, but I hope that you were able to hear if you were watching. But every Wednesday at 5:30, I do a channeling with my Ascension membership, and they get on a Zoom and ask questions. And so that's who you probably heard if you did hear questions. And you're welcome to come over and join that. The link is in my website under membership. So I will be back on next Wednesday for you guys. Bye.